Alright YouTube, sorry about the wind and the self-filming. My camera crew is busy right now taking care of family stuff for Christmas. And so, speaking of Christmas coming up in just a few days, this is the bridge that we used to have, our temporary construction bridge. We pulled that out. This is a quick update from the other day. This tree was cut down long before we got the property. You can see these 4x4s. They were actually used, this is like a 3x3 maybe. They were used to bridge these two heavy-duty pallets together, and that's what acted as our bridge. We needed about 15.5 feet, and I think there's like 17 feet or 16 feet, something like that. So these logs are logs that were taken from dead trees. This is the one that we shot down. It's one piece of it, and then these are two of the bigger branches, and then a third one underneath. It's kind of down low. So this is the general concept that we're following, is we've just taken these logs, and obviously we're going to use the earth to hold them in on either end, and we've got the crown of this log going upward. So we need to get this saddle opened up a little better. So we've been using the 1025R with the auger attachment. That's a 12-inch auger on there. So very economical way to dig holes, by the way. And what we're doing is we're just opening up the holes. There's actually two of them here. And so that's going to act as a saddle to receive part or all of the end of this, and so our approach doesn't have to be quite as high. This was kind of a high point. I think there must have been a tree here, some sort of root structure in it, and the tree is dead now. Of course, there's definitely was a tree here, and I believe that was a honeysuckle. We had to kill that. But then across the way you can see we've salvaged what trees we can, and this one's seen a little bit of damage, unfortunately, from the work. But when they get to be in decent size, you don't want to take them out. Especially when they're otherwise healthy, and you can see the root structure is doing well on that tree. So anyway, so this will be the one log for the extreme. Now there's no holes on this, there's no saddles on this yet, because it was the bottom of the pile. And then of course this is the bigger one, and really probably what we needed to do is do these on the outside edges, and then this one is a little bit smaller down here. It narrowed more as it grew tall. But the whole idea is we're going to saddle, so we got to take out this middle piece, just probably with the shovel, because you can't run an auger into the middle. It'll just slip and go into one of the two holes. So the ground was kind of frozen, so overnight it's been sitting, and I'm going to take those out with the shovel, and then I'll probably take a little bit more of this material in the front. And what that's going to do is that's just going to allow us to not ruin any of the structural integrity on any of the three main beams. And then these ones, the smaller ones, are going to basically sit up on top. And our hope is to use some concrete to actually just fill in whatever. We're going to put most of the dirt back in around it once we get the saddles created. And then we're going to use a little bit of concrete to just brace everything apart from one another, between, and then down in between and down in. So rather than having some proper foundation that's just going to cost a fortune. Plus we have no way to get to this side of the creek without encroaching on our neighbor's property, which is the neighbor's properties here, and they've allowed us graciously to drive the tractor in and out until we can get this project done. That's the whole idea, is we need to be able to get the tractor over and back, and preferably we'd like to be able to get a pickup truck across, and this bridge is probably going to be sufficient for that. Not 100% sure yet, and we got some ways to test that, but we'll go into that on another video. Just wanted to give you a quick update. The idea here is you can see the one log kind of down low. That one's going to go away. It's going to move to a different position, but you'll be able to see totally under. And our goal is at the end of all this to have a very natural looking crossing that's also structurally sound. And we may end up, not sure on this, we may end up doing dirt all the way across it, and just allowing this to basically be an extension of the earth on either side. And some of you are probably thinking, why don't you just do a culvert, Brian? Well, we're not going to do a culvert because a culvert would potentially encroach on the waterway, which means that we have to have permits and all this stuff. If I build a bridge, first of all, we can make it look really cool, and I've always wanted to have the bridge. And then secondly, it's going to be much cooler, is a big thing. And how do we determine where we're going to space these? We just measured the wheel spacing on our vehicles. We marked them in the previous video, you might have seen that. And then we're going to use shorter logs to help make the approach less steep. So obviously this is kind of the rough, uncut version. And then of course this is our man bridge to start with. So that's going to go bye-bye when we're done. We'll still have the steps which are basically just concrete washout. And then these are real stones. And we took and used like black spray paint to kind of make it look more natural. Of course, it is just concrete wash. So, but these things work really nice because they give you a little bearing structure so you don't take out the hill worse and worse as you use it. So, and it looks pretty nasty down there right now because we were doing a bunch of work and a bunch of stuff fell down there. So we'll get that cleaned out after we're all done with this project. But now you get to see what it looks like. And this is just the auger we're using. It's County Line Tractor Supply Company brand. And then we're using the 1025R. We do have water in the tires, so about 220 pounds added on that. It really helps in the front end loader, of course. So that's where we are right now. This bridge is going to be pretty cool when it's all done. Talk to you later. All right, YouTube. So we're still working on the bridge, and earlier I was loner. Now my camera crew is back with me. So we're going to give you a quick update on what we're actually doing.
Just the cat.
So these are the holes we made with the auger. You'll notice there's 2 of them on this end. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to work this down in there, and we've been taking shovels and just taking that little bit of extra. We did the same thing over there, and as you can see, all these logs are just sitting in. The only thing we're having trouble with right now is this one keeping the crown on it.
Yep.
So we're going to actually have this deeper down because we want the crowns for the maximum strength. So when you load it really heavy, it will have nowhere to go. And then when we're all done, we're basically going to have a relief to be able to put some concrete in there.
Our cat got a snack.
Our cat got a snack. What did the cat get?
A mouse.
What is it?
It's a mouse.
You want to show the people? Show them. Yeah, it's delicious.
That's his job. That's why we keep
Hold
him.
on. We got to see it closer. Closer view. I'm not going to scare him. What are you eating, buddy?
Good
Oh,
boy.
yes. Okay, so
Sorry. That's why we feed
distractions everywhere. So what we're going to do is we're going to lower that down in here. And, well, actually, we'll just do that real quick. We'll show the people at home how ridiculous this is.
We haven't tested that one at all. That's awesome. That worked really well.
Okay, so now we just need to unhook it. So we'll pause it and unhook it.
Okay.
Okay, so now we're going to work the log back and forth.
Just to kind of seat it down in there a little bit more. And then make sure our distance is where we want it to be.
Over into that pocket well. I'm going to keep going. That's all it's going to go.
Okay. Yeah, so he's pushing it so that it actually goes over here into this pocket that we made. So we're just pushing it back. We gave ourselves a little extra room on this side to work with. And this is the higher side of the bank. It doesn't really look like it when everything's all gray. But this side that we're on right now is quite a bit higher than that other side over there. So those, yeah. Okay, so what he's saying, so I'm sure you can't hear him, is we're gonna hook this log next, this one that's closest to me, and we're just gonna do the same process. We have to lift it up so that he can, by hand then, kind of dig down that front part right in front of where we did our auger holes so that it can set down just like the other one.
And then we'll have a less of an approach too, which is nice.
Yeah.
This side was much higher than that side. Well, not much higher, but a little bit higher.
A little bit.
About 10 inches higher. And so when we're all said and done, there'll be concrete that just holds everything in place on the end. It's not going to last forever, this bridge. It's going to be nice and sturdy, but we don't expect it to last for 20 years or anything like that. It'll last for a few years, and it'll be nice and sturdy. But we also are thinking about doing an earthen top. We're not sure on that yet. We may just do a regular deck. And for all I know, we could use it and then build a concrete deck on top of it later and then just let the wood rot out because the concrete will hold itself up if you do it right. But anyway, that's what we're building right now. It's going to be really cool. As you can see, there's nothing under it, and it's going to be cool. This is going to give us access to the other half of our property. like I said, our neighbor's giving us access to drive through right now, but they're not going to want us to be doing that forever. And they haven't built yet, so it's not really a big deal for them. But coming up here in the next year or so, I bet there'll be a neighbor back there, which is okay. They're nice people.
And this looks a lot nicer than the pallet. It just looks more natural, like it could have maybe happened.
Yeah, like if 3 trees fell directly into perfect holes.
Yes.
Yeah, and then put decking on top.
Yep.
Yep, exactly.
Better than a pallet.
That's right. And it's going to be a lot more strong.
Yes.
So, all right, we'll give you guys more updates as we go. Thanks for watching.